Hello, my name is David Geen, and today I'm going to be talking about masculinity. You're a pig. You're toxic. Stop trying to act like a man. These are the words that many men in today's world hear time and time again when acting out their normal everyday lives. We have reached a point in our culture and society where people are attempting to shame men into thinking that acting masculine or fitting the stereotypical male is a horrific wrongdoing. Toxic masculinity not only demonizes certain inherent traits of young men, such as a typically aggressive nature, but it belittles chivalrous acts and deeds by attempting to guilt men for aspiring to fit certain standards and expectations. Now, what is so wrong for me and many others to desire to fit the expectations of strength, stoicism, courage, and virility? Why should we be shamed and told that we are toxic for aspiring to be our best selves and take pride in our own gender? Now, what I'm saying absolutely does not apply to every male. There is absolutely nothing wrong with not having these qualities, and no man should feel that they must meet these expectations and that they aren't a true man unless they have them. The reason why I'm up here and speaking today is not to define standards and expectations, but rather it is to put an end to the demonization of men for aspiring to act masculine. Without masculinity in our world, no man would desire to be chivalrous. No man would hold the door open for someone or help an old lady with her groceries across the street. No man would aspire to die for his country to keep all of us safe back at home. No man would desire to stop the mass shooter at a public event. No. Because doing this would be expressing too much courage. And toxic masculinity tells us that wanting to express this strength or this courage is an utter abomination. However, I believe that masculinity, without a doubt, is beneficial to the world around us. And shaming men for expressing their masculine qualities will only harm society. In today's world, so much focus has been put forth to ensure that we understand men and women are truly equal. I completely agree, but how do we define equal? Do we define it as the exact same traits and attributes that make men and women physically and neurologically the same? Or do we weigh each gender's benefits and understand both men and women bring their own unique qualities and benefits to our society? Toxic masculinity serves as a barrier to rid men of traits that may seemingly make us seem superior or unequal to women. However, the qualities that someone may define as toxic are truly bred into our nature. According to a medical and psychological study done by Stanford Medicine, many of the differences in men and women behaviors comes at a neurological and genetic level. A male's sex-determined set of chromosomes contains both an X and a Y chromosome, whereas a female only contains two X chromosomes. Many of the defining characteristics of a male comes from the singular Y chromosome, which harnesses our testosterone and creates men's masculine qualities. Also, according to the study, every cell in a man's body, including his brain, has a slightly different set of functioning sex chromosome genes from those operating in a woman's. Now, outside of the genetics, the study concludes that the brain structure of men differs from women, which leads to variations in our behavior among the two sexes. The study explicitly states, each module consists of a neural or genetic pathway in charge of one piece of a complicated behavior and responds to genetic and hormonal signals. These modules, or at least some of them, are masculinized or feminized respectively by the earlier testosterone rush or its absence. The mammalian brain features a myriad modules of this sort, giving rise to complex combinations of behavioral traits. So what does this information allow us to conclude? This allows us to conclude that a male's genetic and neurological differences give rise to the behavior that society may deem as masculine. These behaviors are not something we can necessarily change because they are physically bred into our nature. They are what define us as men, and nobody should shame us for being seemingly more aggressive, desiring to act courageous, or wanting to be physically and emotionally strong. These qualities by no means make us superior to women, but they are our own unique characteristics that we may use to benefit the world around us. But what proof is there in society that masculine traits help the world around us? Some may say that the masculine traits described as toxic, such as an aggressive nature, may be the leading cause of things such as mass shootings and violence. After all, according to the Statista Research Department, since 1982, an astonishing 113 mass shootings have been carried out by male shooters. In contrast, only 3 have been carried out by female shooters. But I'd like to tell you another story. A story where the shooter is inevitably stopped by a male representing his masculine qualities and ideals, who seemingly is just doing his job and his part in our society. I'd like you to put yourself in the Borderline Bar and Grill in Southern California on November 7th, 2018. It's college country night. You and your friends go out to have a great time singing and dancing. You don't think much about the night. After all, you're just going out to have fun and have a good time. However, this night takes a dark turn. Midway through the night, you begin to hear loud bangs like firecrackers. Your vision is blinded by a thick white smoke, and you begin to feel your heart sink in terror as you realize what's happening. You're in the midst of a mass shooting, and you have no way out of the bar. During the chaos, a young man grabs a hold of you and some of your friends and pushes you below a pool table. He puts his back to the shooter, attempting to shield you from any potential danger. When the shooter stops to reload, he grabs a hold of a bar stool and shatters the window next to you. Within seconds, he pushes you out the window to safety, and in the blink of an eye, he goes back inside to save more people. This is a true story, and it is the story of 20-year-old Matthew Wennerstrom. This young man and his friends were able to rescue and save a total of 35 people that night. When a reporter asked Wennerstrom how he knew what to do in the bar, he simply replied, "Instinct, I guess. I'm here to protect my friends, my family, my fellow humans, and I know where I'm going if I die." So I was not worried to sacrifice. All I wanted to do was get as many people out of there as possible. This young man is the exemplary figure of what it means to be a modern male. He expressed the stereotypical qualities of strength, courage, fortitude, and even some aggression to save people. These are the qualities that saved 35 lives that night. And these are the qualities that many men desire to possess or already possess. But these are the qualities that men are shamed for expressing. If this young man fell into the pressure from society that him expressing masculine qualities was bad, many more people would have died that night. In my own personal experience, I've witnessed the active attempt to reduce the expression of masculinity every year right here in our own school, McQuaid Jesuit. Being at an all-boys institution, it is common and only natural to see the qualities described as toxic nearly every day. In fact, almost every year, McQuaid has invited a speaker to talk about toxic masculinity and how expressing these traits can be negative. That is the problem with today's society. This is not something men can simply throw aside and get rid of, but we should be proud and willing to express these qualities if we desire to do so. The expression of masculinity isn't to create a gap of inequality among the genders, but it is a man's way of creating his own positive impact on the world. God created both men and women, masculine and feminine, aggressive and tranquil. We as society must realize how to harness each gender's qualities to make the world around us a better place. The principle of toxic masculinity in itself is toxic, and it is clearly evident that masculinity helps our world as a whole. So please, think twice before you call a man toxic or tell him that he's acting too masculine. Thank you.